Good morning. This is Soledad with Canning with Sol. Today is Saturday, and on my calendar for Christmas in July, I put surprise. So my surprise for today, I picked jalapenos. Jalapenos because everybody here uses jalapenos, and I love jalapenos with everything. So I did my jalapenos with vinegar and water, and I'm gonna show you all the steps on how to do it. It was pretty loud at my house yesterday, so I recorded it. So that's why I'm doing an introduction, just to kind of tell you what I'm gonna do. It's super easy. You really think that it takes a lot to do them, but it doesn't. First, you have to make the brine. For the brine, it's always think the brine is the liquid that you put after you cut off the jalapenos to fill in the gap, the juice, the favorite part. So to make a brine is always 3, 2, 1. 3 being vinegar, 2 being water, and 1 being sugar. So after you put those in the stove to start cooking, you put some spices, and I'm going to show you the ones that I put. If you like something different in it, like a different sweet taste, add more sugar. If you wanted kind of some other taste that you like, some people put cinnamon in it. I've never put cinnamon, but you can put cinnamon. I like mine kind of crunchy. I don't like them real soggy. But yesterday I had them cooking, and I told my son to turn it off because I had to leave, and I guess he turned it off a little too late, or he says he didn't. But they look kind of soft, so they look like your traditional jalapenos. I just didn't want them like that, but we'll see how they taste when I open them. On mine's, I put a lot of carrots because I love the carrots. I always seem like they don't have enough carrots, so that's the good thing about doing them. You control what you like the most. If you like a lot of carrots, put a lot of carrots. If you don't like them, if you like them soft, hard, however you want them, you control the texture by how long you leave them in the heat. Also, the thickness. But I hope you really like this one. It's really good. I love them. And what you're gonna need is, and remember, if you want to make more, double the quantity. If you want to make less, do half of the quantity. With the quantity that I did, it gave me 8 pint size. I did them in pint size because I like to always open it and have it fresh. So right now we'll check them, and we'll see if they're all sealed, and if not, we'll want to go in my fridge. I need jalapenos anyways. But what you're gonna need is you're gonna need jalapenos, carrots, water, sugar, vinegar, and then for the spices that I added on mine, I added 2 cloves of smashed garlic, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of black peppercorns. Peppercorns is the pepper before it's grinded. And you water bath them for 10 minutes. And that's all you need, 10 minutes. Once you put them in the jars, and remember, before I started cutting my jalapenos and my carrots, I had my jars boiling in the pot where I was gonna process them. That way they get sterile. So I had my jars and my lids in the hot water bath before I put everything in there. That way you make sure that there's nothing in there and that it's completely clean. Well, thank you so much for following me and liking my videos. I hope you like them, and enjoy this recipe. If you make it, remember, make as many as you want.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start with the jalapenos. Thank you for watching. For the first thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need vinegar and water, and then you're gonna put them to boil. So there, I'm showing you the vinegar and the water, but I've already poured them in the pot. I'm already boiling it right there. So vinegar and water are in there. Now I'm going to show you the spices that you're going to add in there. You're going to put 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to list everything at the end. I'm just telling you what I'm putting. And then you're going to put 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns. That's like your pepper before you blend it. Then in the other jar, in the other I'm boiling the jars in the pot. I'm sorry, I went blank. In the other pot, there are the peppercorns. In the other one, I'm already boiling the jars and the lid so they can be sterile. Remember, your jars have to be very sterile along with the lids. Then you're gonna add some oregano. The oregano, you can put as much as you want. I only put 1 teaspoon. If you like it stronger, add more. And the brine needs to be cooking on medium to high right now because you want the sugar to melt. Then you're going to use a tablespoon of salt. And That's all
There's
going
your
into
salt.
the brine.
You're adding your
To
salt
make
in
a
there.
brine for jalapenos,
And you're
it's
making
always
the brine.
just in
The
3
brine is
to
the
1
liquid that goes in the jalapenos.
So then you're gonna add your sugar. I already have my sugar separated, so I can already pour it in there. And I'm adding 2 cups of sugar. There's some people who add cinnamon. So you can add cinnamon if you want to, or cinnamon sticks. I don't. I like your traditional vinegar jalapenos. So you're gonna give it a good mix. And that needs to not boil completely, but just be hot, because you want the sugar to melt really well before you add your jalapenos. Then I made serrano. I had some serrano peppers and I had some jalapenos. So I'm going to put them separate. Remember that the end tails, you can use them to make jalapeno and cowboy. It's called, I think it's jalapeno cowboy something. I forgot the name. I went blank. But it's jalapenos and pineapple. You put it over cream cheese. It's so good. I forgot the name. Oh, it's called jalapeno crack. It has a funny name, but that's the name of it. So I'm just taking off all those tails, and all those tails you can use them to make that. But I'm just gonna chunk. There you go. I'm cutting off all the tails. And then you can either slice it in little slices like your traditional nacho jalapenos, or you can do them in long slices, or you can do them in 4s. However you like. I'm going to just slice them in the middle, my serranos. And it's just a little bit that I had, but before they go bad, I might as well, and I'm counting the jalapenos, might as well put 1 jar of them just to give it a little spice. And remember that all these recipes that I make, they're available. If you're interested in the ones that I make, just inbox me and I'll let you know. I don't pick up orders because I'm always making a new recipe for another day, and my time is very limited because I work all day. So I do this usually late at night or early in the morning before I open the store at 9. And I work in something totally different than what I'm doing. So there you are. I'm slicing my serrano peppers. And you can do with or without seeds. I do with seeds. That way you have the full taste. And then it's your jalapenos. So jalapenos, I had a lot of them because I bought some, and then we had a cookout and I went and bought some more. So I said might as well can them before they go bad. And I didn't have any jalapeno anyway, so I needed to do it. So my jalapenos, I'm gonna cut them like your traditional slices, like the ones you get in the nachos. The carrots, the recipe calls it you peel them. I don't peel them, but if you peel them, they look more pretty. I don't care for prettiness, I care for flavor. And so I guess I was being lazy. I just cut them in slices, but it can be either or. You can peel them or not peel them, however you like them. I just gave them a very good wash with a brush, and then they're nice and clean. So I leave the peel. I've always read and heard that the peel carries the most nutrients, so that's why I leave it more than anything. Aside from being lazy, it's good for you. So this lazy is good for you. So there are my sliced jalapenos, and I have a couple of more. So there you go. I'm almost done. I don't have too many. I'm gonna try to fill 8 pint-sized jars. I was gonna use the bigger ones and make 2 or 3, but I said I'd rather have the little ones and open them and have a fresh batch every time I open it. So that's why I'm opting for. So there you go. More jalapenos. All the seeds go in there. Also, word to remember is that when you're working with jalapenos, it's best if you use gloves. Not so much for the sterile thing, because I mean they ultimately are yours and you're gonna eat them. And my hands are clean. I wash them a lot. but because if you touch your face, you have all that jalapeno in your fingers. Sometimes you learn the hard way and then you remember the next day, but I didn't put any gloves. I couldn't find them. So I'm just doing it like that. I'll just wash my hands a lot of times afterwards. Just be very careful that you don't slice your fingers off. I have cut myself before. So I'm just there slicing more. I had more jalapenos than serranos. And I think I have one more batch. And that's it. I'm done with the jalapenos. Remember to save those tails if you want to make cowboy pineapple with the jalapenos and pineapple. That I already have pineapple, so I could have done that, but I threw them away. Slice them and slice them as thin as you want. I didn't slice them really thin because I like them kind of crunchy, kind of like the pickles. I don't like them real mushy. And my brine, check on your brine, give it a little mix that it's cooking, and that's what ultimately gives the flavor to your jalapenos, so they're not too spicy. That's what the sugar is for, to neutralize the acid a little. There you go. Cut your more jalapenos. Now the carrots. Look at those delicious carrots. The carrots, you slice them as thin or as thick as you want. And those two, you can put them in slices or you can put them in little rings. I like them kind of thick. But and what I like about this recipe is that you control how many carrots you want to put or how many jalapenos you want to put. Anytime I open a can of jalapenos, I always feel like it doesn't have enough carrots, because sometimes I like the carrots more than the jalapenos. So in my jars, I'm gonna put a lot of carrots because I like carrots. So there you go. My jalapenos are done. My serrano peppers are done. And now it's my carrots. Carrots, remember, you can put as many as you want and as thin as you want. The thinner you put them, the more tender they're going to be. Remember that. You can also put them in big chunks. So there I am. I'm slicing my carrots. And I'm going to add a lot of them on mine because remember, I like the carrots. There you go. Slicing all my carrots, and I'm not giving them another rinse because I already have them super rinsed. You can rinse them if you want. There you go. You keep cutting your carrots until you have them all cut. I'm cutting all my carrots. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. I love the jalapenos. Don't forget to comment and share for people who want to learn. I'm trying to give as many recipes of things that you normally use. Also remember to can things that you actually like and eat. Don't just buy things just to can something. If you want to learn the process of canning and you want to just buy something just to can it and see if it cans, can water. Don't buy things just to can. Learn with water. I learned with water. When I started canning jars of water, just so that I knew the consistency or how tight to tighten it so that my jars could seal. So practice at first. Don't feel overwhelmed. It's super easy. Once you get it, then you can can anything, like I say. But first start with water. That way if you mess it up, throw the water, start again. It's a very good hobby and life changing skills that you can learn canning. I never thought that I would like it this much, and I absolutely love it. I could probably be canning all day, but I have to come to work so that I can support my hobby. And ultimately, it's a hobby, right? Right now, it's a hobby for me. But a good hobby, because I eat my hobby. So I try canning things that I like. If there is some things that you like and you want me to do a class on it, just send me a message and I'll try to can something that you want. Some of the ones that I make, like I said, that they're available if you want to get them, is to reinvest that back to make something else. That way I'm not just making things and they're stocking up on my shelves. I already need a room just for my shelves. I have that much stuff. But it's so delicious. You go in there and you don't even know what to eat because there's so many things. Later on, I'll give you a tour of all my cans. I'm a little crazy, remember. So So there you go. All my jalapenos are done and my carrots are done. I'm ready to fill my jars. And remember, my jars have been in the stove sterilizing. My brine is about done. There is no right time for the brine. It's just for everything to incorporate together and the sugar to melt. So that's really all you're doing. And to have the hot liquid, because the hot jars are in the canner over there. So now I'm going to get my jars out. Put a towel in your counter or something so that you don't put them directly and you don't make a big mess. So there you go. Remember to get the utensil to take the jars out and be very careful because they're very hot. They're boiling. They're in boiling water. So when you see me grabbing them like nothing is bothering me, they're hot. They're hot. I just try to play it cool. So there are my rings. Remember, the rings' purpose is only to hold the jar while it's sealing. After that, you don't need it for anything. Remember, vinegar is very important, and a paper towel to clean the rims. The reason you clean the rims is so that it can seal, and if you're doing something slimy or messy, there's nothing on the top of the jar to prevent it from sealing. There you go. There are my jars and they're steaming hot. So you put them on your jar, so on the counter, so then you can fill them with your jalapeños and your carrots and your brine, your vinegar brine. I'm gonna take out 4 at a time. That way I don't leave them out in the counter too long and they get cold. Which it'll take a while to get cold because they're hot. And don't be afraid. Just be very careful that you don't burn yourself. And I always have to be recording over because sometimes I have to stop because my dogs are barking or they're watching TV and it's super loud and you won't hear my voice. You'll just be hearing them. I don't have a room specifically for canning, so you'll hear all the noise around my house. There's always a lot of noise in my house. So there are my rings, my lids, and my jars. I'm taking out the lids because they're already sterile. And they're on my clean counter. In case somebody comments that I don't use gloves. My hands are clean. So there you go. You get your 4 jars funnel. And you're going to start filling in those jars with your jalapenos. Remember to pack them tightly because they're going to get soft and they're going to go down. And then you're going to have a lot of space. Unless you like the liquid a lot. Because I like the liquid. The liquid, I use it when I make dips. Like when I make ranch dressing dip, I use the jalapeno vinegar. And it's something that I made myself. None of these preservatives in my cans. And I'm going to layer them. I'm going to put jalapenos, carrots, jalapenos, and carrots. And a lot of carrots because I like the carrots, like I mentioned. There you go. You want to push them in and add more if you need to add more. And more carrots. And more jalapenos. And these are pint-sized jars. My next one, and they're hot. Put the carrots, jalapenos, and just fill your jars. Once you're done with the first half and you fill them and you want to seal them, you want to leave them in your counter until you get the other 4 so you can put them all in the hot liquid at the same time. That way they all cook at the same time. That's why I'm not going to put them in until I'm done with all the jars. So there you go. There are my jars. Stuff it in a little. Sometimes you have more jars than what you actually need, and that's okay. There's my next one. And then you start putting your brine. And you want to fill it in, and then you use a knife or a fork to poke through the sides so that if any air bubbles are there, you can get rid of them so more liquid can go in there. Because remember, you need the liquid for the jalapenos. First, fill it in with that hot brine. Hot brine, hot jars, hot liquid to process them. Hot, hot, hot. And then cold, cold, cold. Remember always. I always say that. Remember, hot with hot and cold with cold. So nobody can ever come at me and say I didn't say it. What can happen is if you put hot jars into the cold water, they can break, or vice versa. If the water is super hot and your jars are super cold, they can break. So we don't want to do that, because if they break, then you have to throw everything away. It's none of this, let me pick up the little pieces of glass. You have to throw all of it away. You don't want to put your family in danger. There you go. I'm debubbling. Poke it, and if water goes through and you need more, just simply add more brine. And just push them in. If they need more, add more. If your carrots are too big, cut them a little smaller. Mine were perfect. I like big carrots. If you hear my phone ring, I'm at work. Hopefully my husband doesn't walk in. There you go. Then you're gonna put your lids. I forgot. You have to clean the rims with vinegar and a paper towel. Let's not forget that important step. So there you go, your vinegar, and simply you're just gonna wipe the rims. So you wipe the rims with the vinegar and water. I mean, and it's step by step. Follow my steps. If you want to do it, put me there and just be recording it. I'm going step by step by step. There's no way you can mess up. And if you mess up, that's okay. That's how you learn. Put your lids. Now you're going to put your rings. Remember, the rings are fingertip tight. Fingertip tight means you just turn them with your thing and just give them half a moon. Half a moon. There. Fingertip and then half a moon. And that you really learn by practice. The more you do it, the more you practice it. That's why I said practice with water. Start doing that and put them in water, and if they seal, you know you did. That's the tightness. If they didn't, just know that you needed a little bit more or a little bit less. If you tighten them too much, they're not going to seal, because the flow of the steam is not going to go through, and they're not going to seal. So there, I'm putting them on the side. I'm done with 4. I have 4 more in there. So let me get the other 4 and do the other 4. They're hot, remember. Be very careful. There are your 4 jars. Put them in the counter and fill them again. I think I'm going to have enough jalapenos and carrots for those jars. The first time I did them, I was short on jalapenos, so I did 1 of just carrots. And I put 1 whole jalapeno just to give it jalapeno taste, because then there was nothing spicy in there. So it was just mostly carrots and vinegar. Had a little bit of jalapeno taste because I only put a slice, but I still ate them. Don't think I threw them away. I ate them. But last time I think I made only 4 jars. I made a little batch. Today I'm making 8 jars. And I did a gallon of brine. Remember, for the brine is 3-2-1, 3 part vinegar, 2 part water, and 1 part sugar. And I wrote it down here. My serrano peppers. And now it's I did my serranos all in 1 jar. I think there was about 10 serrano peppers. They fit in 1. And then I'm going to put a lot of carrots. Remember that the serranos are hotter than your jalapenos, so those are spicy. Yep, slicing all of them in there. I made 2 serrano ones and put the remaining carrots in those serranos. And I'm gonna try not to leave them. It's supposed to only be 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you leave them there for 5 more minutes and then you take them out. If you leave them in the steam longer, they'll just be softer. Nothing other than being softer will happen. So if you want them kind of not too mushy, it's 10 minutes. And let's add the brine on those. And I got 8 pint-sized jars. And the recipe calls for 1 pound. I think I had 2 pounds. I didn't weigh them. So I think it's 2 pounds. And carrots, I didn't go by pounds. I just winged it. But if you want to go by sizes, it's 1 pound of jalapenos and half a pound of carrots. But really, there is no quantity. It's just if you like more jalapenos, put more jalapenos. If you want more carrots, put more carrots. It just depends how much you want to do. It's really how many jars you have. If you find the jalapeno at a really good price, then do this. You'll have a lot of jalapenos. And these will last you for years. And like I keep repeating it, I started in November. So I have some jalapenos that I can. Jalapenos is one of the first things also that I can. And I think I have some from December. But everything that I'm making, I'm leaving 1 can behind just so that I can check them in a year. That way, I know. I think I'm leaving 1 or 2 cans of each thing so I can check them in a year and 2 years. Like, let's say right now that I have 8 jars of jalapenos and I have 3 left and I want to can some more or use them up. I won't use them up. I'll leave them there and I'll make a new batch because I want to see how long they last. So I have some things in this November will be a year. And I have to open them. Kind of like my vanilla extract that I have fermenting since November. Every week that I go give it a little mix, I just check it and I'm like, oh, it's looking really good, really nice. There you go. Fingertip tight. I get off topic. Fingertip tight. There you go, not too tight. Now, your steam water bath should be really hot to put them back in there. So there you go. Put the rings back on the other ones. And now you're going to put them in the water. Be very careful because they're hot and you can burn yourself because the water in the canner is hot. There you go, putting them in. And I think I'm going to have to take some water out because I put too much water. When they were in there, they were empty, so water was inside of them. But now that there's no water inside of them, it's just the weight of the jar. So now you have to take some water out. Super hot water. So the 10 minutes are going to go really fast. There you go. Put some more. Don't try to put them with your hand because you're going to splash yourself and it's hot. And remember, for this, you can use any pot as long as it has a rack in the bottom or the mason lids and it has a lid, because this is a water bath. Taking out some water and 1 more. The thing is that my canner, if it has too much water, when you put the lid, it starts bubbling out. There you go. Then you put your jars, and I feel like there's a lot of water in there, so I'm gonna take a little bit out because at the time that I put the top, it's gonna spill over. So let me take out a little bit more water. And then also remember, you have to put a squirt of vinegar The squirt of vinegar is so that your jars don't become hazy, like kind of like dirty white. If you forget to put the vinegar, it doesn't matter. Next time that you do it, put some vinegar and they'll get back to white. That way they always look really clean, really white. They don't look like they're old and pale. Then you put your lid, and right there I'm gonna notice that it has a little bit too much water still because it's kind of rocky, my lid. So I'm gonna take some liquid out. Remember, you only need as long as it's covering the lids. They say two fingertips, but then my fingers are really big, so as long as it's covering the lid, the top of the can. There you go. Then you're gonna start your timer, and you're only gonna leave them for 10 minutes. So after your 10 minutes, then you turn off your stove and you let them rest for another 10 minutes, and then you take them out and put them in your counter. So processing time is only 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you turn off the counter and you remove them from the heat. Because if you leave them in that same spot, they're going to keep cooking. Because it's still 10 minutes. So there you go. It's been 10. You're going to leave it, throw away. I have leftover brine. I'm going to save that brine and use it tomorrow to can some other ones instead of throwing it away. Because that'll give me like another 4 jars. And I'll just do the little small pot. Just so that I don't throw it away. So there you go. It's already been the 10 minutes. You're going to take them out of the canner. You're going to put them in your counter. And you're going to cover them up. And don't touch them at all. Don't touch the rims. Don't touch anything. Just put them in your counter. Cover them up with a towel. And leave them 12 to 24 hours undisturbed. It's always 12 to 24 hours, but mine never stay 12 hours because I always check them in the morning. And mine seem to be okay in the morning, but the ideal time is 12 hours. So there you go. I'm taking them out. I'm going to leave them in my counter. Cover them up. And leave them there for the morning. Don't touch them at all. That's the leftover brine that I had. I put it in a big jar. That's half a gallon. I'm going to use that to can some more tomorrow. That way I don't throw it away. So now it's the morning. Good morning. I'm back. So now we're going to check them. So we already took them out of the water. They've been here in my counter for, I want to say like since last night till this morning. And we're going to check them to make sure they sealed and how they came out. So let's check them. So you're going to uncover them because they've been here. And here are the jalapenos. You notice how they have a lot of, also remember to pack them down a lot because they cook down. So you have some hollow space. So remember, you're going to take off your lids. You're going to make sure that they sealed. You tap them to make sure, by tap them I mean you tap them like this to see if they sealed. They look like they sealed. See this one? I don't think this one sealed. These don't make that noise, this one makes that. So you take off the ring. This one didn't seal. So this one you would put in your refrigerator, and this is the one that you're going to start eating with. Let me take out a little bit of liquid. So just wait. So you can see, here are the carrots, and this is the serrano pepper. So they are kind of soft because they stayed there. You're supposed to, they're good. You can taste the vinegar. You're supposed to leave them for at least a week, just in your counter too, so they can get that full absorption of the vinegar and the liquid and everything. So this one, since it didn't seal, then you put your lid back, and this one goes in the refrigerator. Let me check this one.
This one's sealed. Sealed, sealed. This one is ready. Sealed. Sealed. Oh, I don't have to put these on anymore. Only this. And this. Yeah. They all sealed except one, which is pretty good. So you see, you notice that, just so that you can see it. Here, your homemade jalapenos, you don't need to be buying any from the stores. Then what you're gonna do, remember I always say, you're gonna wash them really well. You're gonna wash them, make sure that all the stickiness and everything comes out and they're really rinsed. Then you're gonna dry them. Then you're gonna label them. I put jalapenos 726, and then they're ready to go in the cupboard. And remember to leave them for at least a week before you start using them. If you open it now and you eat it, nothing happens. But it's just so that all the juices can be absorbed into the jalapenos. These are the jalapenos that I sliced. So you can do them whole or sliced, however you want. And I put a lot of carrots, like I said, because I like carrots. Remember that all the recipes that I make are available. If you're interested, inbox me. So only what I have available. Thank you so much. And at the end, you'll see the recipe and a picture of the ingredients. And thank you so much. See you tomorrow. This is Soledad with Canning with Sol.